let's talk clothing on a budget. So one of the big things for us, we are a family of 6, is we do have lots and lots and lots of people to clothe. So the crazy thing about that is you're going to notice that literally it seems like as soon as you buy your kids clothes, they grow right out of them. And that happens all the time. Now that happens with myself as well. I'll put myself on the back burner for so long and then I'll be like, I have no undergarments, or I have no socks, or I don't even have a winter coat. And so this is a couple of the tricks that we do to kind of combat all of that and make sure that everyone is clothed, shoed, with lots of winter coats. So the great thing you can do is, and I've said this before in our Big Family on a Budget, is having a clothing budget. So the clothing budget for us has been the biggest thing because it does either eliminate that cost when we go to buy something, or it takes a big chunk out of that. Now, my children are homeschooled, so we don't have that big like back to school expense like a lot of people do, but that's where that budget originated from, is because when the kids would go back to school, that was always like a great big expense that, you know, they needed new clothes, new shoes, backpacks, like the works. So we had started the clothing budget for that purpose, especially with like when winter would come and their coats didn't fit anymore. We were like, oh, okay, well now we got to go buy coats and gloves and hats. And that is how the clothing budget came to be. Now, since then, because we're all home and we don't have that like back to school thing where they have to have all new clothes to start the school year. If they need new clothes, we just buy them. Like if they need to get new shoes, or if they need new socks, or they just want a new shirt. If it's in the clothing budget, sure, we're going to go get you a band tee or whatever you want for the day. So that has helped a lot in cutting down that expense. It's also then becomes like a trackable thing, which for myself, I love a good deal. Like I love a good clearance. I love being able to go like to the thrift store or to a yard sale or things like that and buy clothes. And what it does is it actually makes me look at what I'm spending. And so that helped a lot because we did have a clothing budget when we first had it, and I would spend it because it was there. And that for me was a big mindset shift, was, well then, you know, it's not there just for funsies. It's there for when we need coats, when we need this. And that's the biggest thing about living on a budget as a whole, is you have to be ready to make sacrifices. You have to be willing to change the way that you do things. And that was hard for me because a lot of times those budgets, especially for like clothing, was harder because I was like, oh, I will get the kids some shoes or get this or that, even though they really didn't need it at the time. So that is another tip. Always make sure that you are actually getting stuff that you actually need. You could sprinkle in some wants, but when you're living on a tight budget, you're going to want to make sure everyone is covered before you get into the extras. So definitely shop the clearance. I talked about in that video as well, like buying ahead of season if you can. As soon as those seasons go out, you can kind of usually grab extra for the next year and kind of guess. If you get it wrong, it's not that big of a deal. We usually just donate them to someone else who could use them, or just hand them down to family somewhere, so it doesn't go to waste that way. But that has been a big thing. Now shoes, I do try to shop a sale, but I have a little bit of thing from my childhood where if the kids just want shoes, I just go get them. I was only allowed to have 2 pairs of shoes a year, and they were church shoes and then they were tennis shoes. So I usually, if the kids want a pair of tennis shoes, or if they want a pair of boots or something like that, and it's in the clothing budget, we just do it because why not? And they are old enough to kind of pick and have their own fashion now, which makes it easier too. So definitely make sure you are shopping those clearance though. And if we could do a buy one, get one, or a buy one, get one 50% off with shoes, we're going to do it. Like, who needs shoes? Who's next? So let me know if you guys like this content. I love posting videos like this. I do post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So if you're not following me already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification. That way you get notified when I post new videos like this. Bye guys.